Hey everybody, I haven't made a video in a while, have I? Sorry, but I was busy. Not. But I got some time and I decided to make a video on something that interested me. Lisa, the Painfull RPG. So, what is this game exactly? That's probably what you're asking, right? Well, you see, Lisa the Painfull RPG is a RPG Maker game. Okay, hold on a second. Slow down, bucko. I know half of you guys just probably got up out of your seats and are like, fuck this. You're probably gonna click to watch some porn or something. But sit down, alright? This is important. Actually, it's not. It's just a game review. But I know a lot of people usually have stigmas about RPG Maker and think that everything that comes out of it is just lazy garbage. Or maybe you have seen RPG Maker games and are interested, but you're like, there's so many of them, I just don't want to hear about another. Well, Lisa's different, and I'll get into that in a bit. I promise you it's somewhat worth your time. See, after playing Lisa the Painfull, I think it's one of my favorite post-apocalyptic worlds, other than Mad Max, but that's mostly because of the film. What a lovely film. The whole idea of the world is that it's a world where women don't exist anymore, they all died off or something. It's not clear how they all died, but they don't exist anymore, it's just dudes now. I think the guy who made the game is named Dingaling. Or at least that's his Steam profile. His real name is Austin Jorgensen, but Dingling. Oh man. If I imagine anyone to make this game, that's probably the name I'd associate with it. The guy made the game in 2012. Holy shit, really? Why am I talking about it now in 2017? Well, it's probably because it has a following now. I actually stopped and talked to people who actually know what the game is nowadays, where, as in back in 2015 when I found out about the game, no one really knew about it. Or it was late 2014, around the time Undertale came out, and people were telling me to look at Lisa the Painfull, and I looked at it and I thought it was good, but I could not talk to it. I could not talk to other people about it, so I was like, fuck it. But now I finally have the opportunity to do so because it grew in a following. Impressive, right? The game is only worth 10 bucks. So honestly, why haven't you bought it? 10 bucks, dude, that's like, what, an hour's work? This game's an hour worth your time. Nah, just kidding. I don't know how long it usually takes people to finish it. It took me about 10 hours, but that's because I wanted to see every hidden whatever in this game. And honestly, it's worth it. It's fun to see every hidden little thing that Austin Jorgensen, this beautiful man of a person, did. That didn't even make any sense. What the hell's a man of a person? Anyways, yeah, Lisa brought me a whole barrel of joy, and mostly sadness, actually. Just sadness, really. It's a dark humor game, and if you're not into dark humor, then hey, that's okay. You know what we call you? A pansy. Just kidding. It's fine if dark humor is not your kind of thing. It's my kind of thing, and I love the humor in Lisa. It's fucking hilarious. Well, I want to educate you guys on why this game is a much better RPG than most modern RPGs made by AAA companies. So, let's begin. So, the game starts out with a dark screen and some kids beating the shit out of one kid. Man, kids are fucking assholes. Like, you think adults are assholes? Kids are fucking assholes. So, yeah, you're playing as a young Brad. Well, it's not clear what his name is yet, but his name's Brad. So after he gets beaten up, you start to walk around and you find your shitty beaten up house with your deadbeat redneck dad, who throws a bottle at you and tells you to go upstairs and clean up. He won't even get you a new shirt. That sucks. And then Brad goes to his room. Before hitting the bed, he drops down and cries to sleep. Well, I feel like shit. Thanks a lot, game. If you don't know why the game's called Lisa, it's because Lisa is Brad's younger sister. The game Lisa had a game before it. It was Lisa the First, or at least that's what it's commonly known. And it was a short game where you play as Lisa, and who's trying to run away from home, and Martin, the human waste of a father, to Brad. And the game implies that Lisa killed herself. Especially because the intro screen is Lisa hanging herself. That sucks. So yeah, Brad feels like garbage because his sister died and his father haunts his memories. But we cut forward many years later. We awaken many years later and find out that Brad is now that guy from Gliding with a Chance of Meatballs that has hair. And he finds a baby. This doesn't make much sense considering that all women are dead, so how did this baby come to be? He takes the baby to his friends and they ask him to check the gender. He says it's a girl, and then they all start to mourn. Well, at that point, his friend suggested they give her to Rando, the big shot militia guy in the area, since he's probably prepared for something like this, and they can give humanity another chance, and that they'll probably be rewarded. But Brad doesn't want that. Brad doesn't care about humanity having a second chance. He wants to have a second chance. To what it's never really said, to having a female in his life, to taking care of someone younger than him. Maybe he feels really guilty for Lisa's death and thinks that keeping this baby would make up for it. I don't know. So we cut forward a little bit and Brad starts to take care of the baby, and this intro is really intriguing. It kind of cuts back and forth between what they do, but what's interesting is that it tells us that Brad is an addict. He's addicted to something called joy, which is a drug that makes you feel nothing. And yeah, he's trying to quit, especially for Buddy's sake, who is the child that he found and decided to name. So he takes a bunch of joy, drinks a bunch of liquor, and then he blacks out. We then wake up and control Brad, and this guy says, "Hey dude," and this guy is asking us to kill his dog for him. We do so, and we find out his name is Terry Hintz, the tutorial master. So he says he wants to go with us, and we go back, discovering only that Brad's friends are killed, and Buddy has been taken away. The secret's out, Brad. And now we have to go find her. And bam, the game starts. Well, you mostly jump around on cliffs, go fight bosses around the world, and branch off into different areas until you find the right one to go. The game never gives you a clear short-term goal, but it does give you this goal overall, which is go find Buddy. It doesn't tell you what you have to do, but it more or less implies it, or find the right area at least. The navigation is pretty neat too. It's mostly in a 2D platformer style navigation. Dropping down more than 3 ledges will make Brad take fall damage, which sucks. And Brad can't really jump gaps, he will just fall to his death. Oh yeah, if you fall off a ledge and it doesn't lead to anywhere, it's basically like Mario falls off the world screen, except you just get a game over, which sucks. But later in the game, you find a bicycle, which can jump over gaps. That's pretty good. Also, you take a lot less fall damage when you equip the bike, which is really nice. The bike makes it a lot easier to navigate the world. Another thing that's unique about Lisa are drugs. Yeah, you can take drugs in this game. They basically function as buffs, as you would imagine. Joy, that thing that Brad used to take when he was an addict, you can take it in the game. Yeah, you can make Brad take joy, and it actually does something. It makes every attack into a critical hit, so it's really good for taking down bosses. I know I used joy once or twice in my playthrough. However, if you don't use joy for a long time, you suffer withdrawal. And withdrawal is a lot less worth it. It makes every attack into a... Withdrawal makes every attack into a miss, or just does 0 damage, and it makes special attacks do a lot less damage. So, you have to ask yourself, is it really worth taking joy when the consequences are much bigger? Because taking joy once will make you an addict, and therefore you will suffer withdrawal. So yeah, you should go play this game. It's just $10 on Steam, I mean seriously, if you're a fan of RPGs, why haven't you tried it out yet? So, overall verdict. Well, the game's good. I liked it, but I can definitely find problems with it. Especially with the ledges and the insta-death, that's just bullshit. I mean, after a while it doesn't do it anymore, but why does it do it so much in the first screens? It's just annoying. Like, I've died several times just falling off the first ledge of the game, just because I keep forgetting it's there. Falling off the world map is not fun. It has some balancing issues with certain bosses being way tougher than others, and you can definitely do bosses out of order, which makes them really hard. Its visuals are basic but appealing. They resemble Earthbound a lot, and if you're a fan of Earthbound, then I guess you'll enjoy it. I was never a huge fan of Earthbound, but I'm a huge fan of this game, so I might go play some of those games. It has a much more appealing world map than any other RPG Maker game, and that's because it's in 2D and not the isometric 3D thing that RPG Maker does. It makes it feel unique and also not annoying. It's much easier to figure out where you have to go in this type of environment. And I love the idea it has with choice, because even though it's not like giant choices that could change the world, it's something that affects you, the player. I wish more RPGs would try something like this. Well, I'm not gonna give it a score, but I am gonna say you should try it if you're a fan of RPGs in general. It's not expensive, it's definitely worth your time, and it's very, very funny with all its dark humor. So, I wonder when I'm gonna make another video.